Hello and welcome. You're watching the news. I'm Gargi Rawat. Up ahead, we'll get you all the news you need to know. Breaking news coming in from Dhaka, where there's been a blast in a building there. 15 people have died. We'll get you all the details. First, let's take a look at the other headlines we're tracking at this hour. Lalu Prasad Yadav questioned in the land for jobs case by the CBI, while the ED questions Manish Sisodia in Tihar. And as central agencies close in, Arvind Kejriwal asks, why has the Karnataka BJP MLA, who was found with cash, not been arrested? The BJP hits out at Rahul Gandhi over his comment in the UK, where he says he's asking for Europe and the US to interfere in India. This, as Rahul Gandhi seems to backpedal his comments, says India's problems are its internal matter. The Insolvency Court approves a takeover plan for Jaypee Infratech in Noida, raising hopes of home buyers who've been waiting and paying EMIs for their homes for over a decade now. The Prime Minister attends the swearing-in ceremonies in both Meghalaya and Nagaland as Conrad Sangma and nephew Rio are sworn in again, underscoring the BJP's prominence in the Northeast. Group Captain Shaliza Dhami creates history as she's appointed by the Indian Air Force to take command of a frontline combat unit in the Western sector. Up first, let's get you the breaking news coming in from Bangladesh, where at least 15 people have died and over 100 others are injured. This in an explosion at a 7-storey building in Bangladesh's capital. Several firefighting units were rushed to the spot when this blast took place at around 4:50 p.m. local time there. Now, according to the preliminary reports, it's a commercial building where the blast took place. This is located in the Siddiq Bazaar in Dhaka, and it has several stores and offices. The explosion has been reported to have occurred on the ground floor in a store there. The building has several stores for sanitary products on the ground floor, but the exact cause of this explosion is not yet known. There are fears that the number of dead and injured could go up as many people are trapped. The injured have been rushed to the Dhaka Medical College Hospital. Joining us on the phone line now, Amzad Maula, editor, the fortnightly Energy and Power. Thank you so much for speaking to us. What can you share with us?
Actually, I am not visiting that place, but I observe with the local television news, as well as I talk to my other colleagues, those who are covering this event. But still, officially, Fire Service Civil Defense, they didn't declare any cause of this incident. Just the day before, 2 days before, the similar incident happened in other part of Dhaka.
Yes.
But we have to wait. Just right now.
That was in some kind of an oxygen plant. But this building, we understand, has many sanitary shops. It has offices. Unfortunately, this explosion took place on the ground floor, and so the building has caved in, and there are fears that many more people could be trapped.
Yes, still I received the last news. Almost civil defense and fire service people, they rescue 20 people alive from the incident place, but still operation is going on. And problem is that this is the Gulistan area, our old town city center. It's a very crowded area, and this incident happened in the afternoon. There is thousands of people over there, and a lot of people wounded and died. Those who are in footpath, those who are in the bus for going other places. So we have to wait up to official version, still not the finalized what the cause of incident. But just last 3 days, there is a 3 accidents. One is oxygen plant. It's a fault of the plant already detected. And the science laboratory one, they find one cause, the methane gas was trapped over there. But the Siddiq Bazaar one still did not identified what happened over there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amzad Maula, for speaking to us. So, not too much is known as to the cause of the blast, but as Amzad Maula was telling us, as you can see in those visuals, it's a very crowded area. The blast took place on the ground floor, and many sanitary shops are there on the ground floor. The impact of the blast was so much that even a bus apparently standing on the road it had its windows shattered through the force of the blast. We'll continue to track that story, but moving on now to other news. And today, the Enforcement Directorate questioned AAP leader Manish Sisodia in Tihar jail, which is being seen as a precursor to another arrest, this time by the ED after his previous arrest by the CBI. This as the CBI questioned RJD leader Lalu Prasad Yadav today at his daughter Misa's home in Delhi in the Land for Jobs case. The opposition has claimed its leaders are being targeted by the government through central agencies. And today, Delhi Chief Minister and AAP leader Arvind Kejriwal hit out at the Prime Minister, saying the Karnataka BJP MLA in whose house cash was seized has not even been arrested.
The CBI at former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav's home to question him in the Land for Job case. Also in Delhi, the Enforcement Directorate questioned former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in the liquor policy money laundering case.
देश भर के सरकारी स्कूलों का बुरा हाल है। आज़ादी के 75 साल बाद एक ऐसा शख्स आया जिसने सरकारी स्कूलों की काया पलट दी। वो शख्स है मनीष सिसोदिया। देश भर में सरकारी अस्पतालों का बुरा हाल है। यहाँ गरीब मजबूरीवश अपना इलाज करवाने जाते हैं। आज़ादी के 75 साल बाद एक ऐसा शख्स आया जिसने सरकारी अस्पतालों की दशा बदल दी। मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का एक नया मॉडल दिया। वो शख्स है सत्येंद्र जैन। जिस देश के प्रधानमंत्री लोगों को अच्छी शिक्षा और अच्छा इलाज देने वालों को तो जेल में डाल दें और देश को लूटने वालों का साथ दें, उस देश की स्थिति बहुत चिंताजनक है।
The Delhi Chief Minister also retweeted a post which pointed out how a BJP MLA's son was caught with 40 lakh rupees and how he got bail. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan wrote to the Prime Minister supporting the Aam Aadmi Party protest against Sisodia's arrest and underlining that Sisodia is being targeted for political reasons. The BJP hit out at the opposition parties for politicizing criminal investigations, stating that the government will act strongly against the corrupt.
कल राबड़ी जी पर रेड हुई, आज लालू जी पर चल रही है। रेड के बारे में मुझे कुछ नहीं कहना है, लेकिन देख रहे हैं कि क्या जदयू, क्या विपक्षी और क्या आरजेडी पूछताछ पर चिल्ला रहे हैं। लालू प्रसाद जी रेल मंत्री थे तो रेलवे के दो बड़े बड़े होटल रांची में और भुवनेश्वर में एक कंपनी को बेचे गए कि नहीं, और वो कंपनी ने पटना की एक बहुत बड़ी अपनी जमीन नई नई कंपनी बना के परिवार को दी कि नहीं दी, जहां बिहार का सबसे बड़ा मॉल बन रहा था।
Rohini Acharya, daughter of Lalu Prasad Yadav, took to Twitter to highlight the fact that her ailing father, who is just recovering after a kidney transplant, is being harassed by the agency.
The joint letter by 9 opposition parties to Prime Minister Narendra Modi over alleged misuse of central agencies was an initiative of K. Chandrasekhar Rao and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Interestingly, parties like DMK, which share same sentiment, stayed away from this letter because Congress was not a signatory to this particular letter, and sources say Congress was not even consulted by these opposition parties before writing to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With camera person Prem Singh, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And even as the opposition claims they're being targeted by central agencies, the Karnataka BJP MLA Madal Virupakshappa, at whose house cash was seized, who Arvind Kejriwal tweeted about, received a hero's welcome at his hometown in Davangere. He made an appearance after pre-arrest bail from the High Court. The MLA had gone missing for 5 days after his son was arrested along with 4 others while taking a bribe of 40 lakh, and then bundles of cash was recovered from his home by investigators on the 2nd of March. The BJP hit out at Rahul Gandhi today for his comments in the UK, claiming he was seeking foreign intervention and shaming the country on foreign soil. This after Rahul spoke on democracy under threat in India and how the world is watching. But in his latest statement, Rahul Gandhi seemed to do a U-turn, saying erosion of democracy in India was an internal matter.
Rahul Gandhi's speeches in London have created a massive political slugfest back home. Rahul's SOS on India's democracy on the foreign soil has been met with a strong retort from the BJP.
Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic, right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened. But there's no reaction.
The BJP has shredded the Congress Member of Parliament for what it calls an attempt to malign India abroad and seek foreign intervention.
खरगे साहब, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष कांग्रेस पार्टी भाजपा आपसे जानना चाहती है कि क्या आप युवराज राहुल गांधी के इस टिप्पणी का समर्थन करते हैं? नहीं करते तो उसको डिसोन करिए, वरना स्पष्ट होगा कि आप भी साथ खड़े हैं.
In an apparent backpedaling, Rahul tried to nuance his stance on alleged erosion of democracy in India, calling it an internal matter.
Right? It's an internal problem. It's an Indian problem. And the solution is going to come from inside. It's not going to come from outside. However, the scale of Indian democracy means that democracy in India is a global public good.
Apart from attacking the BJP, Rahul has also launched a scathing attack on the RSS in London, calling it a fascist organization.
But the nature of the democratic contest in India has completely changed. And the reason it's changed is because one organization called the RSS, fundamentalist fascist organization, has basically captured pretty much all of India's institutions.
आपने संघ की तुलना मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड से की थी. इससे बड़ी कोई शर्मनाक बात हो सकती है? कंडेमनेबल, भर्त्सना योग्य. राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ एक राष्ट्रवादी संगठन है. 1925 से देश की सेवा, राष्ट्रभक्ति, राष्ट्र सेवा, राष्ट्र संकल्प और राष्ट्र समर्पण में संघ ने बहुत बड़ा काम किया.
Rahul's speeches abroad have constantly raised BJP's hackles that has attacked the Congress leader for internationalizing domestic issues. With Bureau Input, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
In other news now, huge relief today for some 20,000 home buyers in the NCR. India's bankruptcy court today approved Suraksha Group's bid to acquire the debt-laden Jaypee Infratech through the insolvency resolution process. So now people who have been paying EMIs for nearly 13 years are hopeful of getting their flats and their homes in 6 months. Manisha explains.
2010, that's when 20,000 homebuyers had booked a flat in one of the Jaypee Infratech projects in Noida or Greater Noida. For 13 years, these buyers have been bearing the double brunt of paying rent and EMIs. And finally today, there's some definite relief for them. NCLT, which is India's bankruptcy court, today approved the Suraksha Group's bid to acquire Jaypee Infratech through the insolvency resolution process. Now, it's important to remember that it was as far back as in 2017 that IDBI, one of the lenders, dragged Jaypee Infratech into insolvency when Jaypee defaulted on one of the loan repayments to IDBI. Today, Suraksha Group's bid to take over the company and complete the projects has been approved by the court. Of course, all 20,000 flats cannot be delivered in one go, but Suraksha Group, in its resolution plan, has committed a working capital of 3,000 crore rupees to complete the projects in phases. So handover should now start as early as 6 months and will go up to 4 years. This case is of significance and will perhaps go down as a landmark case in India's insolvency process because for the first time, home buyers and allottees were expressly recognized as financial creditors under the IBC. Now, according to IBC law of 2016, a resolution process should ideally be completed within 330 days or less than a year. Jaypee Infra resolution has taken 4 rounds of bidding, 6 years despite the Supreme Court's intervention. Hopefully, going forward, the learnings of this resolution will be useful and no other stuck real estate project will ever take that long.
Prime Minister Modi today attended the swearing-in ceremonies at Shillong and Kohima as Conrad Sangma and nephew Rio were sworn in as chief ministers once again. The Prime Minister's presence at these ceremonies also underscoring the BJP's presence in the northeast, and tomorrotomorrow the Prime Minister will also attend the swearing-in ceremony in Tripura.
I, Sri Nephew Rio,
45-year-old Conrad Sangma in Meghalaya and veteran nephew Rio in Nagaland swearing in as chief ministers in the presence of Prime Minister Modi and top BJP national leadership Amit Shah and Jaypee Nadda and their key man in the northeast Assam, CM Himanta Biswa Sarma. In Shillong, Conrad Sangma took oath for his second straight term leading a coalition government in which the BJP is a key constituent. This time Sangma will have 2 deputies. 8 ministers are from Sangma's NPP, 2 from UDP and 1 each from BJP and HSPDP. Sangma has spelled out his priorities.
5 years back in the same place when I had taken oath, that we have realized that the overall delivery mechanism, overall efficiency at the grassroots level is something that needs to be improved. We improved that in the last 5 years. The same schemes which were implemented in the previous years did much better in the last 5 years because of the accountability, the monitoring that we did. And we'll continue to ensure that the impact at the grassroots level of different programs and schemes is felt to the maximum level.
In Kohima, the NDTV-BJP alliance took charge for the second straight term as a choir sang in the background. 72-year-old nephew Rio took oath for the 5th time as Nagaland's longest-serving chief minister. Like Meghalaya, Nagaland will have 2 deputy chief ministers. BJP's Y Paton and NDPP's Tihar Zeling, a former chief minister himself. The Council of Ministers also has 3 other BJP ministers, including Temjem Imnalong, BJP's Nagaland chief. Already many smaller parties have given Rio letters of support and Nagaland seems set for an opposition-less government.
we had a positive message and also well received by the people. So out of their happiness, they want to show their solidarity with us. So it's very rare that Honorable Prime Minister, Home Minister and National President come together to grace the occasion. We're very grateful for them.
There was a massive reception for the Prime Minister at the Guwahati airport.
There you can see Prime Minister Modi and his cavalcade with the local people dressed in their traditional attires, along with traditional drums, welcoming Prime Minister Modi. The BJP is trying to send out a message, trying to send out a signal for 2024 that Northeast is important for it.
In Guwahati, Prime Minister Modi met the Assam Chief Minister and his cabinet, reviewing several government schemes. In Tripura on Wednesday, Prime Minister Modi will attend the oath-taking of the BJP-led government at a massive public event. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary in Guwahati, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Now, on Monday, the Prime Minister chaired a high-level meeting on summer preparedness as high temperatures are expected. But what will the impact be on agriculture? Well, the good news is government experts say they aren't predicting much crop loss yet. Vedanta reports.
53-year-old Gyanendra Tyagi, a small farmer in UP's wheat belt, is spending extra time and money watering his crop because of above normal heat linked to global warming. He expects a lower yield for the second year running.
ये देखिए ये जो है अब यहाँ पे पानी नहीं है, ये देखिए झुलसे हुए पेड़ हैं और हम जो है इसी कारण से जो हमें 21वें दिन हमें पानी देना होता है, हम जो है एक हफ्ते में गेहूं को पानी देना पड़ रहा है ताकि हमारी जो है मुख्य फसल बाजरा और ज्वार, हमें उनके लिए नमी की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन उनका जो है खरीद गवर्नमेंट जो है एमएसपी उधर उनका ध्यान नहीं है, तो हम उस कारण से उस फसल को बहुत कम बोते हैं.
But government experts say they aren't predicting much crop loss yet.
गेहूं के अंदर जो सबसे क्रूशियल स्टेज है जिसके ऊपर टेम्परेचर का इफेक्ट आता है वो है आपका 15 मार्च के अराउंड. तो 15 मार्च के अराउंड देखते हैं टेम्परेचर किस रेंज में रहता है. अगर जो आपका ये 35 से टेम्परेचर नीचे रहता है और नाइट आर कंपेरेटिवली कूलर, तो क्रॉप को ज़्यादा नुकसान नहीं होगा। और एक इरिगेशन एक बड़ा अच्छा साधन है जिससे आप अपनी क्रॉप कैनोपी को कूल रख सकते हैं।
As per sources, agricultural experts told the Prime Minister that unlike last year, 50% of the wheat crop across Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana is climate resilient, which is a positive sign. However, there is a high probability of heat waves. Experts fear India may face 2 bouts of unusual weather, above normal heat between March and May and then possibly a below normal monsoon.
There will be higher probability of heat waves during this summer season, but in medium range we cannot say more than 6 or 7 days ahead. Whether it will be earlier or later, about that kind of accuracy we cannot give in medium range. El Nino, what will be the phase of the ENSO, what will be the IOD conditions, all those things will come together to give a monsoon forecast.
The Prime Minister has directed the Food Corporation of India to ensure optimal storage of grains in extreme weather conditions. Above normal temperatures and heat wave conditions across wheat growing states will come as a huge blow to farmers. Well, lower crop production may also mean that all efforts to control food costs will be significantly hurt. With Adnan in Hapur and camera person Rakesh Singh, Vedant for NDTV.
Now, in a clear indication of the growing presence of women in our armed forces, the Indian Air Force has appointed Group Captain Shaliza Dhami to take command of a frontline combat unit in the Western Sector. Group Captain will be the first woman in the history of the Indian Air Force to command a combat unit and has been selected on the basis of her professional competence. Captain Dhami has been commended twice by an Air Officer Command-in-Chief and has a distinguished career as a helicopter pilot who served as a flight commander of a helicopter unit. She now takes command of a frontline surface-to-air missile unit in the Western Sector, in other words, the Pakistan front. And the first batch of 100 women Agniveers joined the military police in Bengaluru, and these young women will now undergo basic and advanced military training for the next 31 weeks before they're sent for deployment in peace stations. And this comes just before International Women's Day. Shrija reports.
The first batch of women Agniveers, soldiers selected under India's new system of recruitment for non-officer ranks in the armed forces. Trained to grueling physical standards, the same as it has always been. These women are ready to serve. They will be in uniform for at least 5 years. The best among them will remain in uniform for a full career if they wish.
ये ट्रेनिंग हमें इतना कुछ सिखा देगी कि हम बैटल फील्ड में जाके बहुत अच्छा कर सकते हैं, कि हम अपने देश के लिए कुछ भी कर सकते हैं।
सपना था कि मैं भी एक दिन आर्मी का ड्रेस वर्दी पहनूं, लेकिन आर्मी के बारे में इतना अच्छे से नहीं पता था मुझे, लेकिन यहाँ आके पता चला है कि आर्मी को कितना मेहनत करना पड़ता है।
We have different our training is divided amongst different sectors like weapon training, drill, HRD classes, educational classes. Those who don't know Hindi belongs from South and Eastern regions have also 1.5 weeks Hindi classes.
This batch of 100 women will now be trained further at the core of military police in Bengaluru for the next 30 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Neha Jat, a young woman, Agniveer from Madhya Pradesh, says she had to fight off the patriarchal mindset of her family members to join the Agniveer training in Bengaluru. She says her father stood like a rock and supported her to realize her dreams.
फैमिली का सपोर्ट मुझे बहुत रहा है, रिलेटिव्स का नहीं बोलना चाहूंगी क्योंकि उन्होंने हमेशा बीच में आके टांगे अड़ाई हैं कि लड़की है, क्योंकि एक्चुअली गांव में यही सब होता है कि अरे लड़की बाहर जा रही है, लड़की पढ़ेगी, क्या करेगी पढ़ के, इसे तो रोटियां ही बनानी है और घर के काम काज सिखाओ इसको, ये वो बहुत सारी चीजें होती रही। लेकिन
How did you convince your family?
फैमिली को कन्विंस करना, उनको मेरा जो है डेली वो मुझे देखते थे कि चलो बच्ची का इंटरेस्ट है, मैं घर के काम भी करती थी और साथ में पढ़ाई भी करती थी। एक्चुअली ट्रेनिंग के दौरान मेरी मदर की तबीयत खराब थी लेकिन फिर भी मम्मी घर के काम में मेरा सपोर्ट भी करती थी और मुझे तैयारी के लिए भी मोटिवेट करती थी। पापा ने भी बहुत सारी हेल्प करी। उनका सपना था आर्मी ज्वाइन करना।
पोक करो।
Women Agniveers will be trained to handle weapons, including light machine guns and the 9mm carbine. They have to be entirely proficient in the use of these weapons to qualify.
I would say 70% of them are from NCC background, but yes, the remaining you would find them they are from non-NCC background. Few you would find them they have been playing various games at state level and national level as well. They have been mentally prepared. That they'll be going through a rigorous training. So other than their mental preparations, it is upon us that we have to convert them into trained soldiers.
As these women begin their day at 4 a.m. and finish their training by 9 p.m., these women can play a crucial role in the armed forces by providing security, maintaining discipline and enforcing the law and order, being a set for the investigation of gender-specific crimes within the cantonment.
On International Women's Day, these young women, Agniveers, only want to pass on one message, saying that women are no less than men. In Bengaluru with Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
Right, great to see the young Agniveers. And finally, people in several states celebrated Holi today. So here's a look at the celebrations in different parts of the country: Pushkar, Vrindavan, Dibrugarh and Kolkata. And here's wishing all our viewers a very happy Holi from the entire team here at NDTV. Goodbye.